And welcome back, everybody, for Chapter 2. Now, for Gabriel Knights 2 and 3, you spend the game switching between Gabriel and Grace. Gabriel's role is to solve the crime of the moment, in this case, the death of the little girl and the potential wild animal. Grace ends up researching the backstory, the history. She actually uncovers a lot of historically accurate information, but of course, this being Gabriel Knight, they put their own spin on it. So a lot of the information she brings up is true, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm saying that werewolves exist, if you get my point. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in and see what Grace is up to. Ah, St. George's Rare Books, how I have missed you.
I will if this doesn't work out. There's still a couple of months before they close applications. No, I don't know that yet. Mom, will you please speak English? I'm not a sales clerk. I don't know what you should tell him. Just tell him that I'm going to be here a while longer. I'm not ready for that yet. I have to go, Mom. I have to go. I'll call you later. Love you. Bye. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I just love Blake Backlash, don't you?
He's something all right.
Oh, he's so masculine and so handsome and, well, sexy. It just about took my breath away when he seduced that female sidekick of his. What is her name?
Fujitsu.
That's right, Fuji, he called her. You have read the book.
That'll be $24.50.
She just melted, didn't she? Fuji, I mean. They just don't make men like that anymore.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Is it true that the author owns this bookstore?
That's what they tell me.
Of course, he must be awfully busy. Say, is there a good time when I might stop by? You know.
I like the guy in the background posed with his leg up.
I wouldn't if I were you. He's awfully
That's how
shy.
I read books.
It's his face. There was an accident.
Oh.
A terrible accident.
Oh. Thank you.
Oh, hey, look at this mail that's been sitting here this entire scene that I'm acting like I'm seeing for the first time. And it wasn't even sealed.
Gracie, something's come up. I'm on a new case. Too bad you're not here to help, but Gerda can handle any research I need. I know I have a lot to decide, but that and the new book are going to have to wait. I have a feeling this is important.
Gerda. I don't think so.
He has a feeling it's important. He has a feeling a murdered little girl might be important. Bon Voyage travel from the first game with the same phone number. I do love the attention to detail. Listen to this totally realistic knock coming up. That's what it sounds like when you pound on a castle door, by the way. Tap, tap, tap. I should probably warn you ahead of time, Grace comes across as quite the bitch in this chapter. She gets better.
I need to see Gabriel, please.
I'm sorry, Herr Knight's not here.
Great.
You must be Grace. I think we spoke on the phone.
Uh-huh. When is Gabriel due back?
I don't know. He's gone for some time. Maybe you would like to stay at the castle and wait for him?
I don't have much choice, do I?
I really feel for Gerda in this chapter. I mean, really. Grace is just massively insecure. Gerda's taking her place on the team. And so Grace pretty much takes everything, all the anger she feels,
Ich habe nicht gewusst, dass einer hier ist.
out on
Ich bin hier für die
Gerda.
Kamina fertig machen.
Yeah, it's okay. Fangen Sie Regan.
That's right. Grace speaks German, although how much German she can speak changes depending on the situation. Gabriel's lived in Germany for over a year. He can't speak German. Grace is a first-generation American who speaks Japanese, English, and German. There are times I think that Grace should be the Schottenjäger. Remember this door from the first game? It goes to the library. I don't think she just touched any actual part of the door, though. Listen to this epic coat putting on music. I want this to play every time I slowly put on a coat. That piece of music was written just for her putting on a coat.
That must be Gabriel's car. I wonder where the keys are.
Oh, Gerda probably has them. Gabriel's a motorcycle man, though. In the first and third game, he drives a motorcycle. Let's watch the two of them tear each other to shreds.
Gerda?
Yes?
Where is Gabriel?
I don't know exactly.
Surely he said something when he left. You must have been here when his new case came up.
Why are her pants hiked
I
up
was
so
here.
high?
What was it about? Was it around here?
All I know is that he was going somewhere near Munich. I honestly do not know where he is staying.
Seriously, those pants are up over her belly button.
You must know something about Gabriel's new case.
It is not my business to talk or not to talk about it. Gabriel took the case for someone else.
Really? Who?
Werner Huber. He runs the Gasthof in town.
So, how do you like working with Gabriel?
It is fine.
Uh-huh. Do you get along with him okay?
She looks like she's a high schooler.
He is the Ritter heir.
Wildly insecure.
What are you working on?
Plans for the castle.
Oh, what are you having done?
Lights, phones, plumbing, all new. Should have been done many years ago, but there was no money. Also, things need to be fixed. The stones. The castle is very old. Everything needs work.
Is Gabriel planning to live here permanently then?
Why not? It is his castle now.
I thought he might, sell it.
Sell it. He would not do that.
When you inherit a
The
castle,
castle belongs to
you
the
keep
Ritters.
it. I try not to talk over their dialogue that much because there are no subtitles in the game. So that's why there's long periods where I'm silent and trying not to interrupt.
Do you have the keys to the car outside?
That is Gabriel's car. He doesn't even let me drive it.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Really, I feel like there should have been 2 snaps after that. Girlfriend?
Gabriel mentioned in his letter that, well, normally I do research for him. It's more or less my field, and if there's anything he needs to get done, I'd be happy to take care of it.
He did ask me to check some things for him, but I couldn't let someone else do the work.
I understand, really. But if Gabriel knew that I was already here, that I was around, he'd want me to do it.
I'm sorry. If I do hear from him, I'll ask him what he would prefer. Until then, I must do the work he asks me to do.
I'm curious. I was just wondering, what
Get
was
subtle.
it Gabriel asked you to research?
Just some things.
Some things about...
He asked me to check the Schattenjäger library for any record of other cases any other cases like this one.
Alright, now it's time for Grace to show her expert, subtle interrogation technique.
Gabriel asked you to find other cases like this one? Well, that shouldn't be too tough. For you, I mean. So, what was this new case about again?
I cannot discuss the case with you. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Why don't you go look around the area? I'm sure you could find something to do.
Gee, thanks. Gerda, there's a locked door in Gabriel's bedroom. Do you know where it goes?
It goes to the Schattenjäger library.
That's where all the Schattenjäger records are kept?
Yes?
Why is the door locked?
Gabriel doesn't want the workmen in there.
Oh. Can I get the key?
No. The library is for Schattenjägers only.
Well, thanks.
All right.
Yeah, the two of them are going to be good friends. A lot of this chapter is moving back and forth between the city of Rittersburg and Schloss Ritter. So I'm going to skip some of the FMVs that you've already seen. Like her putting on the coat. I'm only going to make you see that the one time you have. I'm not going to make you keep watching it. So you're not missing out on anything. I'm just trying to keep this LP from being 12 hours long.
Pretty damn cute. I wonder who he is. I have no idea what that says. Looks old, though.
Except she speaks German and she learned it from books.
I wonder who he is.
I love this guy's voice. I want him to do voiceovers for everything.
Guten Tag. Sind Sie Werner Huber?
Yes. You are an American, huh?
Guess I haven't quite got the accent down, huh? I'm a friend of Gabriel Knight. I'm staying at the castle.
Good.
I love in FMV games that the conversations always have to reach that awkward pause so that you can select the next thing to do.
You're the proprietor of this Gasthof?
Yes.
It's very nice. Do you mainly serve food and drinks here?
Oh, we have guest rooms upstairs, too. Yeah.
Oh? Does Rittersburg get a lot of tourists?
Some, not so many know about this place. It is perhaps better that way. Germans on holiday come here. Foreigners find their way here one way or another.
You speak English very well.
Yes.
How did you learn it?
Wolfgang taught some of us. He thought we should know.
Really? Why?
It is a very good question, is it not?
I never got to meet Gabriel's great uncle. What was he like?
Old.
Oh, he was a true Schattenjäger.
Dude was a
Like in the
badass.
old days. He knew things.
What kinds of things?
Things. He had, how do you say it, the sight. He was a very good man to go to when you needed advice.
It must have been hard for the town when Wolfgang died.
Yeah, it was bad, yes. But not a surprise. Gerda knew. It was harder on her than the rest of us.
Really? Were she and Wolfgang close?
Oh, every night
You said Wolfgang was a true Schattenjäger. I suppose Gabriel... I mean, he's probably not what you expected.
Oh, we shall see with that one. Yeah. One cannot know the quality of the iron until it has been in the fire. Eh? We shall see.
So yeah, Wolfgang and Gerda had a thing going on. He was 70, she looks like she's in her 30s, but that's okay.
Tell me about Rittersburg.
It is a small town, private. We keep our business to ourselves.
You mean about the Schottenjägers?
Oh, the Schattenjägers, sure. The Schattenjägers are of this place, and this place is of them. We believe in the old ways here. There's not changed much over the centuries. We still remember what the rest of the world has forgotten.
And that is?
The 11 herbs and spices.
Life is a battle between the light and the dark. Do you know this?
I do now.
I think I mentioned that I was a friend of Gabriel Knight.
Yes.
Well, I came to help him on a case. A Schottenjäger case.
This is good.
Well, we got our wires crossed and he'd already left by the time I got here. But Gerda mentioned that he was on a case for you.
No, not for me. For my cousin, Sepp.
Lots of cousins around here. Is Sepp in town?
No, he and his wife went north for a few weeks. He does not live in Rittersberg anymore.
What is the line about a lot of cousins?
Well, perhaps you can help me then.
This is the only cousin she's encountered.
What do you mean?
Ever. In her life. That I know of. They never mention cousins anywhere else in any other context. What is up with a lot of cousins?
Gerda's not sure where Gabriel is exactly, but you know where I can find him, don't you?
It is not my business to tell people where to find the Schattenjäger. It is maybe not so safe, you see.
Yes, I do see, and I appreciate your caution, really. But we worked together on his last case,
I don't know
and
if her
believe
eyes can
me,
get
you'd
any
be doing him
wider.
a favor.
If he wants you to help him, he will have to contact you at the castle and tell you where he is himself.
Great. Do you know how long Gabriel will be gone?
If he is a good Schattenjäger, he will not come back until he has done what must be done. If he is not, who can say? Maybe he will not come back at all.
What must be done?
Dun dun dun.
Can you tell me what Gabriel's case is about?
What?
Not specifically, of course, but in general. On our last case, we had to deal with a voodoo cult. I was just thinking if I just knew what he was up against, maybe I could do some research.
She even admits
He
a
left so
voodoo
quickly,
cult.
I guess. He didn't have time to investigate here at all. And the Schottenjäger archives might have something pertinent in them, if I knew what to look for, that is.
Yes, that is true. There is much to be learned from the Schattenjäger past.
Exactly. Gabriel is new at this, you know? And Wolfgang's not around to give him advice.
I love all this rationalization she does.
All right, young lady. I will tell you what it is you need to look for.
Yes?
She's encountered voodoo magic,
Werewolf.
but she draws the line
Werewolf?
at werewolves.
Werewolf.
I want that as like a ringtone. Werewolf. She's so incredulous about it being werewolves. There was voodoo magic, spirits of ancestors possessing the living, and you watch the entire voodoo cult sink into the earth when their totem was destroyed. But werewolves? That's just crazy, man.
Gabriel's new case involves werewolves?
You don't believe in such things.
I don't know. It's a little outside.
Voodoo's inside. Voodoo's
If you
believable.
truly want to be an aid to a Schattenjäger, you will have to believe in such things. Things that are outside. If you cannot,
All right. A werewolf. What do you know about them? Werewolves, that is.
At least she buys into it quicker than he
Something's-
does.
this is not the first time that Rittersberg has seen the work of a werewolf, or even a werewolf itself.
Really?
Oh, not in my lifetime, you understand. But I was told of it when I was a boy. One was brought to town. It had killed many people. The Schattenjäger caught him. He was tried here.
When was this?
1700s, I think, somewhere around in there.
Thanks.
Bitte.
I like the hunchback here drinking his beer.
I don't want to disturb him.
He's disturbed enough, honey. Here's what I meant earlier when I talked about Grace's plot convenience German. The priest here in St. George's Church, by the way, cathedrals in all 3 Gabriel Knight games.
St. Georg Church.
Because God actually is a very important part of the Gabriel Knight mythos. He does not speak any English, so watch what happens when you try to talk to him.
Hello.
Guten Tag.
What did you just say to me? I'm just going to walk away. Doesn't say hello back. Doesn't establish that he only speaks German. She just gets that horrified look on her face and leaves. Now, he doesn't speak German. But she does. She said hi to the workman and the bar owner. Can't say hi to the priest.
Hallo, meine Dame. Kann ich Ihnen behilflich sein?
Hallo, wie geht es Ihnen?
See, she's fine.
Gut, danke. Und Ihnen?
Gut. Ich bin hier auf Urlaub und
Let's try English, shall we?
yes. I've been studying German at home and I thought I knew a lot, but it's so different now that I'm actually here.
Books alone are poor language teachers. You'll pick it up.
Especially
Is there
since she
something
can't
I can
read
help you
signs and stuff. I am very grateful to Wolfgang for teaching all of the people in the village English so I could play this game.
My name is Grace Nakamura. I'm staying at Schloss Ritter, and you are?
You may call me Herr Habermas. Welcome to Rittersberg, Miss Nakamura.
It's nice to meet you, Herr Habermas. What can you tell me about Rittersberg?
It is a very old town. The walls around it were built in 1438, but the city is a few centuries older than that.
Have there always been Ritters in Rittersberg?
Yes.
I would hope
Martin
so.
Ritter built the castle in 1223, and the town grew up around it. I'm proud to say we still have Ritter blood here to this day.
Of course, he's not called Ritter, but that's okay.
What is this building?
This is a Rathaus.
The town hall? Oh, thank you. Do you keep old town records here? Criminal trial records?
Yes, we have files going back to the 12th century.
Great. Werner Huber told me about a local trial that supposedly involved a werewolf. I'd like to learn more about it.
What was the date?
Sometime in the 1700s?
I'm afraid I would need a more specific time frame. We have many, many files.
Yes, of course. Thanks for your time.
Certainly. Good day.
The werewolf trial records sounds like a ridiculous thing, but there actually are trial records of werewolves being put on trial for their crimes in Europe in the 1700s. You can do research and you can actually find these things. I forgot to do something here in the church. So again, this game is full of historically accurate information. And now whether you believe that the people who were being tried were actually werewolves, or they were just insane people, or it was basically a glorified witch hunt, that's... The point I'm making is that the records exist of werewolf trials.
Wolfgang Ritter, 10 May 1923 to 25 June 1993.
Honey, I'm looking right at it. It does not say month and day.
And a silver heart. Someone must have left it as a mourning gift.
That would be Gerda. Since he cut out his own heart, I guess she decided he could have one. Alright, let's head back to the castle. Now, if I've done everything correctly, the workman should be gone. Excellent. Well, that looks odd, doesn't it? Put your finger in the hole. Or since it's a blue screen, put your finger near the hole. Let's steal some of the workman's tools. What was that? Let's take a look in the wardrobe. Alright, I didn't see a bag that she brought, and there are no clothes here. But what there is the secret portal. Mr. Tumnus? Mr. Tumnus, are you there? Oh my god, I'm standing in front of a blue screen. You gotta admit, they do.
Someone's been using this passageway.
How can you tell that by rubbing against the brick? She is not Sherlock Holmes.
Let me guess. Gerda's bedroom.
That's
What a surprise.
That's what it says at the top of the screen. I'm not sure why there needs to be a secret chamber between the two bedrooms, because it looked like they were just near each other. Is it just me, or does Wolfgang look a lot like Christopher Lambert? It says there can be only one.
That must be Wolfgang. Something to remember him by, I guess.
Now, I know she walked in through this, but somehow she completely failed to miss this. Not the clothes, the giant honking key. Now, she's lucky, because normally you have to have a nightmare about your soul being burned off by a dragon to get this key. No, don't close it. I need to... I'm done in here. I'm sure Gerda won't notice that the key to the Schottenjäger library is missing. Let's go see what's down these stairs. This is going to be creepy, man. The basement of a Schottenjäger castle? What kind of horrors from beyond our known existence are lurking down here? Locked away, imprisoned for all time. Oh, this is going to be like Phantasmagoria. This is going to be some scary stuff. You are not ready for what's at the bottom of these stairs. None of us are. None of us could be. Behind this door lurks the true flowers. Greenery. Birds singing. That was kind of a letdown. Especially since that door doesn't seem to have a lock on it.
How convenient. When the lord of the manor is slipping through the passageway to his amorous adventures, he can pick up a few flowers.
The door doesn't seem to have a lock on it, so basically, if you were walking around Schloss Ritter, you could just open that door, go up, and end up in the master bedroom. It's amazing the Schottenjäger survived this long. Alright, so let's use this key that we stole, that I'm sure Gerda won't notice is missing. Now Grace, being the master Schottenjäger assistant that she is, I'm sure she'll unlock it, then run and put the key back so its loss is never discovered. Or she'll just stare around at a library that is very different from the one in the first game. And we'll just leave that out in plain sight.
Books on the occult. Here we go. Vampires, witchcraft,
Vampires of the third game.
ghosts,
Ghosts of the fourth
Asian
game.
spirits.
There is no fourth game.
Lycanthropes.
Bingo. Jennings, you magnificent bastard! I read your book!
How did you get in here?
Uh-oh. Jig's up.
Oh, hi.
How did you unlock the door?
Quick, Grace, come up with a lie that doesn't make it obvious that you broke into her room. Well, shoot. Well, at least Grace is going to feel bad about it, because that really was crossing the line.
Oh, I see.
All right. Look, let's just drop all the pretense, okay? Obviously, I found the passageway. I know what's been going on in this little Alpinian love nest, and really, I couldn't care less. If you want to screw around with your employer, that's none of my business. But what I won't put up with is assisting the Schottenjäger crap. I gave up school to work on this stuff because I thought it was important. I'm doing the research that Gabriel wanted, and so help me, I'm going to be doing more than just research this time around. And I'm going to sit around and wait for him to call and give me permission. And if you don't like it, it's just too damn bad!
Crazy, crazy.
Okay, fine. You do the damn research.
Wow. What a bitch.
Damn it.
That was pretty spectacular. There are 3 books in this chapter. All of the information in them is pertinent to the story we're weaving here. To save some time, I am going to play 2 of the books through. But then I'm going to summarize the 3rd for you, just because it's long. She just magically...
The Journal of Victor Ritter.
Victor Ritter. We don't know who Victor Ritter is, but we grabbed his book. And of course, being an adventure game, we will magically open it to the right chapter. First, let's look at this letter we found to Ludwig II.
4th of March, 1864. To King Ludwig II, most gracious ruler of all Bavaria. I beg your forgiveness for my forthrightness in this letter, but I fear terribly for your Majesty's safety, and thus have no time for subtlety. I have heard that the one they call the Black Wolf is close to your Highness. I have been investigating this man for reasons I cannot name at present, and I have learned that he is extremely dangerous and can only have the most dire of motives at heart in anything he pursues.
Sorry, I need to turn the page.
I beg your Highness only this. Please do not see this man alone, nor even with your servants only to guard you. I promise you, all will be made clear very shortly when my investigation is complete. For now, only keep yourself safe. Your most grateful servant, Christian von Ritter, Schloss Ritter, Rittersburg, Bavaria.
Alright, so let's grab Christian Ritter's journal.
I wonder if Christian Ritter's journal is here.
Didn't she already take one of those? Shouldn't there be an empty spot?
Christian Ritter, born 10 January 1820, ordained a Schottenjäger, died 4 March 1864. The 4th of March. That's the date on the letter.
He never got to send it, and somebody, instead of sending it, put it in the werewolf book. Alright. So, I'm not going to make you guys sit through a full reading of the werewolf book. There's a lot of interesting information in here, but the thing that matters to us...
There are 2 lycanthrope man to be...
...is when you become a werewolf, when you are first bitten, the werewolf is a mindless beast. If you can kill the man or the beast that turned you before you take an innocent life, the lycanthropic curse is lifted. You're good. If, however, you take an innocent life, even though you can't control yourself in your werewolf mood, your soul is doomed to hell for all eternity. That's the important thing to keep track of. Kill the man who turned you before you kill somebody. It's a very small window of opportunity.
Werewolves and immortality, the mind of becoming a damnation.
So I'm just going to click the rest of these.
Werewolf pack. Alpha and beta werewolf. It is important to note.
You don't have to directly kill him. It even says here, through some action of the beta, that will reverse it.
Symptoms of therefore.
So luckily, it's kind of loose on that one. Anyway, enjoy this gripping tale.
Numerous deaths at the hands of a marauding wolf being recorded in a neighboring county, I set out to see if I could determine the cause. There had been rumors of a werewolf, and the dark signs did indeed seem to be present. The deaths had all occurred within a 40-kilometer range of woods, and at the heart was the village of Alfang. My assistant and I set a trap a short distance from the village. Though the beast had shown a propensity for human flesh, livestock had also been taken. It was a mewling lamb we loosed in the thicket as a lure. We awaited downwind. For 2 nights the lamb bleated to no purpose, and once we had to fend off a hungry fox. But at last the beast himself took the bait. I might have missed him. The night was so dark, and the wolf himself was black. But my assistant saw the light of his eyes, and I heard the lamb's cries turn fearful. He had the poor dumb lamb by the throat when we sprang. He was swift, and might have escaped, but his fatal mistake was to attack rather than run. My dagger struck through his chest and into his right lung. As I had agreed, we bound the wolf and tied shut its jaws. We brought it home to Rittersburg, still breathing, and turned it over to the magistrate. I pray for the man's unfortunate soul. May the law be swift and merciful. God be praised for aiding his servant. From his hand came the strength and wisdom to end the killing. Victor Ritter, Schottenjäger, 20 April 1750.
And now we know what date to look for the werewolf trial records. Now, Christian Ritter's also going to write about a black wolf about 100 years later, and his is a shorter entry. It's worth noting it's 2 different black wolves, but they could be related.
3 January 1864. I am now in Prussia. The beast that brought me here has so far bested me. He is secretive and skillful. He has much self-control, unlike what I'd been led to expect. He seems to know almost before I do where and when I will be stalking him. He turns up his nose at my lures. 3 more disappearances have occurred, and I'm no closer to learning his identity nor finding his lair. I can't even prove he took them. Not a single corpse has been found. March 3rd, 1864. I've had a break at last. The key was in front of me all the time. The Black Wolf, he so daringly calls himself, for all to hear and none to truly see. It is worse than I could ever have suspected. He is not just a beast, but a monster. His jaws are already around some of the best throats in Europe. I return to Rittersbrook tonight. I must warn those in danger and get someone to assist me. I am in over my head.
And then he died. Let's see. We also need to do this. Need to find out a little bit about King Ludwig. Oh, look at all this. He's not getting any work done. All work and no play make Gabriel a dull boy.
Hard at work, Knight? I suppose in the next Blake Backlash book, good old Fujitsu will be replaced by Hildegard.
Yeah, she's better. Luckily, she carries around the business card of a Yale professor, as I think we all do. Without calculating the time difference, she's gonna call him.
Hello?
Professor Barkley, this is Grace Nakamura. I'm calling from Germany.
Germany? I thought you were in New Orleans.
I was, but anyway, it's rather important or I wouldn't have bothered you. Do you know anything about King Ludwig II of Bavaria?
Well, that's a hell of a thing to ask a man in the middle of the night.
Seriously, it's vitally
Late
important.
1800s, right?
Yes.
This isn't really my field. I think he was crazy. Something.
I wish I knew. Do you know anyone who specializes in German history?
Yeah, I have a friend at the University of Berlin. I'll ring him. What's your number there?
It's 4989-555-7878.
Okay, I'll call you back if I remember this conversation in the morning anyway.
Great.
I'm sure
Sorry
that's the
again.
same number from the
Thanks,
first
bye.
game. They're pretty good
Bye.
about that sort of thing. How would you like to be woken up in the middle of the night? Listen, this is vitally important. What do you know about King Ludwig II? Since I'm in the library, let's take a look.
Looks like biographies here. I wonder if there's anything
That's
on...
the same shelf
Yes,
that the
Ludwig.
journals were.
König von Bayern, König Ludwig, sein Leben und
And her hand's going the
sein
other
Sieg,
way.
Die letzten Tage des König Ludwig II.
German. That's not much help.
Except that you speak and read German. Oh, right. So we're armed with some new information. We can find out about the werewolf trial, and we can try and find out a little bit about Ludwig. Like I said, I'm going to start skipping some cutscenes here that you've already seen. I don't need the epic coat music again. Don't need the long walk to town. Let's go ahead and finish up with Mr. Huber first here.
Herr Huber?
Yes?
Do you know anything about King Ludwig II?
Of course. Everybody knows about Ludwig. He was the last true king Bavaria had. Why do you think I hang his portrait? Eh? Or that article on the wall? Do you know what that is? That is from the Munich newspaper the day after the king died. My great-grandfather saved it. It's been handed down to every first son. That is what Bavarians think of Ludwig.
What was Ludwig like? Why is he so revered?
Oh, he was a genius. He had a great mind, you know. He built castles, is what he did, and kept on building them until they killed him.
Who killed him?
Them, those politicians. They said he was crazy. Got a doctor to sign some papers. They arrested him.
Then what happened?
What do you think? They killed him. Oh, they said it was suicide. But me, I don't believe that. It was murder.
Crazy, crazy.
Thanks.
Bitter.
All right, we're done with him for this chapter. Let's read our werewolf trial records.
Hello again. Did you need something else?
I'm going to stand here silently until the player selects a choice for me.
Remember that werewolf trial I'd asked you about? I have a date now. April 1750.
Excellent. Let me go look.
April 1750. We keep right on the top of the stack. Here it is. All right.
I'd heard of this case when I was a boy, but I always thought it was just a scary tale. It was thought to look in the archives. It was there, all right. What did you want to know?
Everything.
Why did they bring the wolf to Rittersburg? I know the Schottenjäger lived here, but why didn't he just...
Kill it where he found it? I don't know. Let's see. Ah, yes. They wanted to know what man it was, who it was.
They brought it here so it would change back?
Yes, exactly.
What happened to the alleged werewolf?
He was interrogated for 2 days. He confessed his guilt.
All right, so he's not an alleged werewolf.
The trial took place on the 3rd day, and he was sentenced to death by quartering with a stake. He was given a final meal. He asked to see a confessor, and this was granted. He died at dawn the following day.
They pulled off his limbs and burned him?
So werewolf
Don't
hunting.
think harshly of us, Smith. That was a long time ago.
That's kind of what you need to do. Well, you at least need to burn them. All right. So he just very clearly said they brought in this wolf, and then the next day it was a man. They questioned it. It asked for a confessor, right? It's gotta be a man. So it has to be a werewolf. It's not a alleged werewolf anymore.
Where was the werewolf kept while it was here?
The dungeon. There's a dungeon in the Rat House basement. They don't use it anymore, of course. Haven't for many years.
At least 5.
Did it change back?
No, it confessed to its crimes as a wolf. It went,
What it said.
oh.
They put the wolf in a cell, and the next morning they found a man in there. A laborer from out of town identified him as Baron von Raleck from Alfing.
Why did they want to find out who the werewolf was?
I would guess. Yes. It says here that a group of villagers were sent to the werewolf's hometown once they learned its human identity.
Why? They thought there were more of them there?
In those days, the family of the identified werewolf would be in great danger. Many believed such curses were handed down through the bloodline. Was there anything else?
I suppose not. Unless... Is there any way I could see the dungeon?
It would be my pleasure.
He seemed very happy about that, didn't he? If he asks me to put on a ball gag, I'm not playing this game anymore. I like how you gotta go upstairs to get into the dungeon. Grace is going to have the first of her couple of psychic visions here in a second.
Everything's been kept the way it was when the dungeon was in use. We show it off to tourists sometimes.
Yeah, Grace gets some psychic visions. The game does have an explanation as to why, though, thankfully.
I'm fine. It's just that this place is so claustrophobic.
I tell you what, normally this place is locked to keep out the village children. I'll leave it open. You can come and go as you please.
Would you? Thank you so much.
So we don't care about the children anymore.
Goodbye, and good luck.
Also, his reaction to, oh, it's so claustrophobic down here, is, well, you can come down here anytime you want, darling. Believe it or not, you're required to click on the bed, even though it doesn't do anything.
Von Rollick slept here.
That was vitally important. But if you don't do it, the game will not move forward. More important is doing this. Is it a dungeon if it's above ground?
He asked to see a confessor.
Claw marks.
Now, I'm skipping a step here where I would try and talk to the priest to get a record of the confession, except he doesn't speak English, so I come back to this guy.
Hello again. Did you need something else?
Yes, I need to stand here looking at you for a second.
I had a thought while I was in the dungeon.
Yes.
There's a sentence I say
You mentioned
every
that
day.
Baron von Rollick was allowed to give a last confession. I suppose the priest was from St. George's?
I suppose it was.
Would there be a record of the last confession? It might tell us more about the Baron's life.
Good idea, young lady. Those records are in German, though, and Father Getz doesn't speak English. Do you think this would really help your Schattenjäger?
I'm not sure. It couldn't hurt.
All right.
It couldn't hurt.
I'll
Good enough
write
for
you
me.
a note. You give it to Father Getz, and he'll see if they have a record of the confession. If they do, you bring it back here to me, and I'll help you translate it. Okay?
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Certainly. You got my curiosity up too, you know.
Is the Catholic Church really that willing to give away last rites and confessions? I mean, that stuff's supposed to be a sacred trust. I know this was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but what's the statute of limitations on that? 10 years after somebody dies, you can read their confession to their priest, which is a sacred bond? 20? 30? When is it okay?
Entschuldigen Sie bitte.
Ja.
See, she can speak German.
Das hier ist von Herrn Habermas.
Einen Moment, bitte. Das ist für Sie.
Dankeschön.
Also, in case you haven't made the connection yourself yet, this is St. George's Church, in connection to St. George's Rare Bookstore, both of which named after St. George, the patron saint of the Schattenjägers.
Lordy, did you need something else?
My God, this woman will not go away. She keeps coming back.
I have the church file.
Excellent. Let me see it. What's this? This is in English. It's from a lawyer in Buenos Aires. It's addressed to St. Georg's Church. The date is 1764.
What's it say?
It's a request for information about the death of Baron Klaus von Raleigh. It says it's for the family. I assume someone answered it. Curious?
What?
The seal on the envelope.
A wolf?
A black wolf.
Okay. The last confession. The Raleigh family took the symbol of a black wolf to represent their great skill as a hunt. Let me see. Klaus von Raleigh says that he lived up to the family symbol too well. His friends nicknamed him the Black Wolf, but he confessed it was more because he was prideful and treated his villagers and women very badly. He was much feared. The Baron confesses that a life of sin brought the werewolf curse upon him. Listen to this. A gypsy camp, Hungarians, came to Alfing one day. He wanted one of their young women. He had her brought to his castle by force, and there he...
Raped her?
Raped her, yes. He intended to release her, but before he did, the girl killed herself. The next day, an old gypsy woman from the camp cursed him, saying that he was to become the shape that his name and his crimes showed his heart to be.
I see.
Soon afterwards, her curse came about. Klaus von Raleigh began to change, to run at night as wolf, to kill and eat human flesh.
I love the musical stings.
He begs forgiveness from God and from his wife and son. He says he welcomes his punishment, if only it will pay for his sins and save his family from further pain. That is all that is written.
Wow. Thank you.
I'll return this to Father Getzford.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, young lady. And to your Schottenjäger.
Wow, an adventure game character just saved me a couple of steps. Most games would have required me to carry that all the way back for no reason, especially FMVs. FMVs loved that. Alright, guys. We're almost done now. We're done with all the talky bits. We just have to share with Gabriel all the information we've gathered. As well as sending him the books that we've picked up, because you know how Gabriel loves to read. Now, if I've done everything correctly so far in this chapter, when I click on this typewriter, she'll write a letter to Gabriel. If I've skipped a step or missed a step somewhere, I'm in trouble.
All right, Knight, I've got your research.
Victory. She also types better than he does. She speaks German better, she types better than the writer. Everybody should have a sidekick twice as competent as themselves. like how this book gets all the dramatic music.
Now, I just need somewhere to send it to.
Who could possibly have that kind of information? Who would know where to send a letter to Gabriel?
I found the items that Gabriel wanted. Did he tell you where to send your research?
Yes. His lawyer's office in Munich.
Can I get the address?
Harald Übergrau, Marienplatz 21, München.
Such a beautiful language.
Thanks.
Why you gotta be sarcastic? She gave you the address. Oh, right. All we have to do is mail this letter off.
Grüß Gott.
Grüß Gott.
Womit kann ich Ihnen dienen?
And yet when the priest said Guten Tag, which even I understand, she ran away in fear.
Das Päckchen soll nach München gehen.
47 bitte.
I don't speak any German, so I don't know what she just said, but I'm guessing she wants me to pay to ship that. Schottenjägers don't ship free, I suppose.
Dankeschön.
Bitte sehr.
That'll give him something to chew on.
And that's it. We finished chapter 2. Let's take a look at our ending movie here. Oh, you know one of them's just going to leap across this counter and strangle the other one any second now. Grace is just itching for a fight, and Gerda is just so superior to it all.
Guten Abend.
How are you? Is this the castle of the Schottenjägers here?
Yes, but I'm
Oh, exciting! Come along, Emma. We are so thrilled to be here. Emma said it's the 1990s, for heaven's sake. The Schottenjägers are probably long gone. Well, of course they aren't, I said. A family like that doesn't just dry up and blow away. The good Lord's put his mark on them. Who are you? I was just wondering the same thing, dear. Neither of you girls look like the heroic type, but who am I to judge? God chooses his soldiers, and who am I to put in my 2 cents?
No, we're the Smiths from Merrimack, Pennsylvania. This is my wife, Merle. You can call me Emil.
My husband. If I don't get right to the point, he'll get there for me.
It's nice to meet you both.
Well, how did you hear about the Schottenjägers?
Oh, we're demonologists. My wife
naturally.
makes it her business to know a lot about a lot of different things. She's a regular, what you call, occultist scholar, aren't you, Mother?
That's right.
Yeah.
I read about you all when I was studying an old witch trial last spring, and I have been dying to get over here ever since.
Well, so nice of you to stop by, but I'm afraid the Schottenjäger isn't here right now. I'll let him know you called, though.
Oh, no. When I was so hoping to talk shop. We fighters of darkness are so rare these days.
And I know it can't scare one enough to save your soul.
It's not your fault, Missy. I told Merle to call before he came.
People just don't take you seriously unless you're standing right there. You know that, Em.
Well, it's rather late, and if you're driving, you might as well
Gerda's just trying not to
Don't
laugh.
worry about that. We're going to spend the night at the guest house in town.
stop by tomorrow, won't you, dear? You and I can exchange stories at least. We'll see.
Oh, come on, Merle. These ladies are tired. I think we ought to go.
But Anne.
Oh, let's go. Good night, ladies.
Good night. Good night.
What's wrong?
It's not your fault. This just happens, man. I'm sorry.
I'll get her some water.
Give me your hand. I see danger. Someone close to you is in danger.
Gabriel?
I see something like a wolf. Black wolf.
Don't you worry, miss. My Merle is going to be all right. This just happens sometimes. That's all. It just happens. Come on, Merle. Let's go. Come on.
I love how the barkeep says,
What happened?
I don't know.
the barkeep says the Schottenjäger's working on a werewolf case. She's all, werewolf? Really? But the crazy Virginia psychic lady goes, somebody close to you is in danger. And she goes, oh my God, Gabriel? Anyway, that's it for Chapter 2. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Next time, it's Chapter 3.